Well, very good evening, everybody. It is the last day of January, 1 month down in the year of 2024, episode number 140 of Material Issues. 140 episodes. I'm Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. We're back at popdetective.com. Check that out. I'm over here in moderate temperatured South Jersey. And always good to see my very good friend from sunny Southern California. Wearing like a mustardy blue, sky blue, all kinds of different paisley thing going on. Mr. David Bash of the International Pop Overthrow Festival. David, how the heck are you this afternoon?
I'm all right, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Well, I'm all right, except for the fact that I went to my dentist earlier today to have my lower denture adjusted, and now it's pinching me over here. And not full time, but occasionally when it's kind of like the old Buddy Hackett joke. My arm hurts when I go like that, so don't go like that.
Don't go like that.
Yeah, so occasionally when I move my mouth a certain way, the denture pinches my gum, so that's not fun. I'm gonna have to go back and hopefully get that taken care of.
Hello, Facebook user, whoever it is, say hi.
User,
drop your name. Let us know. Good to see whoever you are.
Yeah. Sorry, our guests have not arrived yet. So we will just keep talking until they do.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's doing well. Got a nice watch check going here.
It's Maureen.
Hey, Maureen. Good to see you. I've got, and this goes well with the shirt, my 60th anniversary Accutron astronaut. Why does it go well with the shirt? Because it's got the, hello, Tiffany. I don't really know you. I assume Mark does. Anyway, it's got that burnt orange band that goes with the shirt. But the thing I love about about this watch, and it's very complicated, and I won't take anyone's time or much of your time. Little movements cause these turbines to move and store energy.
Nice.
So that when the watch is at rest, it's built. When it's moving just ever so slightly, it's building up energy so that when you move it around normally, it just continues to work. And this motor, it activates this motor up here. You can see it. You can see the wheel turning.
Isn't that amazing when you think about it, that something like that, just the movement of your wrist can create the kinetic energy it needs to power the watch and move everything. Little things like that make me go, wow.
Of course, if moving wrists created energy, I would be lighting up the world like Con
You wouldn't have to lose weight anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, so
that was pretty good.
That was anyway. As their motto has long been, Accutron. It's not a timepiece; it's a conversation piece. So there you go. So there's that. Let's see what else. A sad day in the music world yesterday when we found out that Brian Wilson's wife Melinda sadly passed away. She was 77, which I think surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
I thought she was a lot younger than Brian. Turns out she's only 4 years younger than him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really sad, especially in the case of Brian, because he had grown to depend on her so much. And now she's out of his life. And I'm just hoping that, I'm hoping that he's got enough people in his corner that will continue to support him and take care of him. I'm sure he does.
Yeah, but still, it's
No, it's always devastating, obviously, when you lose a spouse. But in his particular case, it's it's another level.
Because of his
I'm getting a message here from somebody in the band, in our guest's band, rather.
The band?
Saying, your link is giving us a 404 error. All right, let's try this. Maybe I didn't. Sorry, people. I have a little technical issue to work out with these guys. Let's see.
Every once in a while, it is what it is, but we'll get it. We'll get it right. But yeah, we're gonna have a couple guests on tonight. We've got great guests coming up in the next couple weeks. Unfortunately, I won't be here for a couple of the weeks because I've got playoff basketball coming up. They just hit me with dates that were coinciding with this show. But David will very competently carry on as he always does. Or we may shift the date to a Thursday if it works. But we'll see. But it's all organic, you know that.
Right.
Barry here. Can't wait to ask P&L about putting out their LP and CD. I know.
Yeah, well, you'll get to do that soon. What band? I just got a notification.
Oh yeah, we've got.
Well, you'll just stick around. You'll find out.
Stick around.
What was I going to say? So anyway, so yeah, very sad. Another sad. Well, more of an anger-inducing item. Today would have been the 105th birthday of Jackie Robinson, who I'm sure most of you know, was the first African American to play Major League Baseball. Started his career with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and April 15th, 1947 was his first game. He was certainly a pioneer, and somebody who not just the African American community, but everybody, every baseball fan, and pretty much every human being owns a great deal of gratitude. What he had to go through, what he had to endure. Not only did he have to endure all the racial taunts that were being hurled at him, but he wasn't allowed to fight back.
Yeah.
He couldn't fight back with the people in the stands. He couldn't fight back with opposing players, many of whom were wildly racist.
Yeah.
And there was nothing he could do about it except take it out on the field with his play. And he did that very well because he was quite the player. Yeah, Rachel's still alive at 101. Anyway, a few days ago, a couple of people stole the statue of Jackie Robinson that was being displayed in a park in Kansas City. I think the next day or maybe the day after, they found the statue broke. Yeah, that's right. They found the statue broken in several pieces and thrown into a dumpster. Why anybody would do that? Nobody left a message. No one claimed responsibility. We don't even know if it was racially motivated or just a bunch of hooligans who just felt like defacing something. No. So we have no idea. Either way, it's just a really awful. It's just
bad.
I mean, I hope they find the people who did it and throw them in jail for several years. Mm-hmm. I mean, they certainly deserve at least that much of a penalty. Just what an awful thing.
Yeah, terrible. But that happens. That's the world today. People don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else.
Did you see my human beings?
Wow! Look at that.
Nobody but me.
Wow.
The human beings
certainly holds a record for having the most examples of the word "no" in a song. I don't know how many. Somebody counted it once. Maybe someone out there knows how many it was.
That's true. That's very true.
Kind of people know. Well, they certainly do know that. Whether or not they care is another matter. But we don't know what the motivation was. So
we don't know yet. But hopefully it wasn't it's hard to say hopefully, but you hope it was just hooligans doing something stupid, young kids that don't know any better, but hopefully it's not racially motivated.
Right. I have a feeling if it was, that the people would have left a sign that said so.
Yeah. But put a new one back up twice the size.
Nice numbers. Oh, that's great. That's got to be John.
Oh my gosh, that was really funny.
It's either John Borak or my wife. I don't know.
Yeah, Rena's checking in from work. No. In case anybody doesn't know the human beings, that's the song. No. It's good stuff. But
why?
Yeah, outside of that,
trying to think if I have anything else to show besides my watch. I I would have had a few new releases to talk about, but I don't have them in front of me because I figured our guests would be here by now.
Yeah.
I definitely resent the link. It looks like the first one I sent to them might have been a bit cut off. So let me just check that again and make sure that that's what it was.
It's all technical issues and whatnot, but yeah, I mean, we can talk about who.
Oh, I guess I did add I see. Yeah, let me make sure that what I sent now is correct. Let me go. What am I doing here?
We were discussing earlier before we started the show about a number of guests coming up, which are going to be great. But next week is an open date, which we'll get back to playing some Stump the Bash and.
Yeah, we're not going to fill that date unless something. We're not going to fill that date unless something pretty amazing comes our way.
Yeah,
which is possible. It's always possible.
It's always possible. But if you're if you like the trivia and the Stump the Bash stuff, that'll be next week. It'll be a lot of fun. And
I really want to play it again. Not today though, because
we'll have some.
I took a small nap before the show because I was up. That's another thing. I was up early inviting more bands to IPO Liverpool. We're almost full.
Nice.
Our cap is 114. We're at 99 right now.
Wow,
which is nice.
And what's the dates of Liverpool this year?
It's May 26th through June 2nd. Of course, nice. Cavern Club and Cavern Pub are 20th year. Wow. Unbelievable.
That's got to be a special T-shirt.
I hope so. I'll be talking to Mr. Steve Stanley about that.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, his designs have been just top shelf lately. So we're looking. It's gonna be hard to top last year's. That was a really good one. But
unless, of course, you get the corgis to come back and play IPO.
I tried. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out for them to play. But
it's all right. It's always nice to ask. It's always nice
no, for sure.
But yeah, all good. We've got an interview tomorrow all about Material Issues and IPO and Pop Detective Records, which is back now at popdetective.com if you haven't filled up.
Oh yeah, you have the interview. Why
tomorrow we got New Jersey Arts. It's newjersey.com is like the huge web presence for all things New Jersey. And I was bartending Saturday night at the restaurant talking to a customer because somehow they ask what I sing and do all the stuff that I do. When did you do that? And it always comes back to, I also do Material Issues. And I talk about the show and I talk about Pop Detective and IPO, my co-host and things. And this woman sitting there was listening to the conversation. She was with a couple other people. And she said, pardon me, can I talk to you? And she started talking to me, asked me all these questions about it. And she said, I write in the arts and entertainment. Arliss just showed up, and
I see that. Okay,
like to do an interview with you about Material Issues, Pop Detective, and then get your co-host interview and talk about IPO and do a whole big thing because I'm based in New Jersey and she's all New Jersey centric. So that's going to come up over the next couple of weeks, and we'll let you know when that's all published. But it looks like it could be a real fun thing.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the one the one with you, and I look forward to taking part in one as well. But we have one of our two guests here tonight, so maybe let's bring him on, and when the other gentleman shows up, we'll bring him on as well. But this is a very cool story. A couple of guys from the Midwest who met each other in school. Oh, here we go. I like the naming. Well, now they're both here, although it looks like one of them is having a little. Okay, a couple of guys met. They met in school. They became friends. One of them moves to another school, finds out just by pure chance that the other one moved to the same school, and from that came a friendship and a musical collaboration that took place mainly over an 11-year period, 1965 to 1975. They recorded several tracks. I'm not sure exactly how many, but 27 said tracks are featured on this really cool collection called Peach and Lee, Not for Sale, 1965 to 1975. It's a double record set on Reminder Records. And I want to give the head honcho of Reminder, Jeremy Thompson, a shout out for
Very nice.
having the good taste to release this LP or this double LP set. Nice gatefold with really beautiful printing and nice liners and the whole bit. But it's the songs that are king. If you're a Beatles Badfinger fan, you can't do much better than these guys. Then one of our guests, Arliss, went on to sign with Titan Records in Kansas City and released a few records on that label, which are very cool. There's a great Titan Records sampler that came out in the late 70s. And then another one, Expanded, came out on Numero Group on CD a few years ago as well. But we'll talk about that and more when we bring these guys on. So without further ado, would you please give a huge Material Issues welcome to Arliss Peach and Larry Lee.
There they are.
There he is.
I'm going to guess you guys didn't look like that in 1965, but...
Nope. No, we didn't. There you go.
Are we good, Larry?
We're not hearing Larry's
you.
voice, so we have to turn the microphone on or allow the microphone. Arliss, I love the background. My gosh, this looks like a... I don't know what this looks like. It looks like
it looks like a sideways American flag.
I was going to say it's not like a Confederate background, but it's the guitars there, the USA. It's really cool.
It's just the U.S. flag. That's all
it is. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's actually
Larry, are we?
It's used as curtain, but it's actually a flag. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, we're
hearing you, Larry.
We're seeing if we can get Larry's microphone to connect to us. Maybe you go back out, Larry, and come back in, re-click the link, and allow the microphone. That might work. We'll get him in and out. How you doing tonight, Arliss? Good to see you.
I'm good. I'm pretty good. We had a little trouble getting in, but
yeah, that was my fault. I apologize.
Apparently, we're still having a little bit of trouble, but
no, you're okay. I think the link I sent you had an extra letter in it, so it didn't work.
Well, we kept getting that 404, and I mean that's the class.
No, 404, right? it's all me. I apologize.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
We call David Mr. 404 most of the time. Yeah. We were just talking about my human beings T-shirt, and he said that's the most no's on a record, and then someone commented second only to David's wife on his wedding night. So we've been laughing about that for about 5 minutes.
Human beings.
I didn't think anyone else was there. But
did they not do Nobody? Is that the song?
That's it. Nobody But Me. Yeah.
You know what? That's very strange. I remember that. I remember that record very well.
Oh, I'm sure.
I do indeed. Yeah.
It's a great record.
Yeah.
But we'll talk and see if we can get Larry hooked up here. I think it's coming down to his mic not being picked up, but sometimes that happens, and if he goes back out, it comes through and allows the video and allows the mic.
I gotta ask you this, Arliss, and
sure.
This is coming from a guy named Bash. Is your last name really Peach?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My first name is really Arliss too.
That I believe.
With an exclamation point, though.
Yeah. No, I certainly. There was the actor Arliss Howard who was in Full Metal Jacket. That was the first time I'd heard that name.
Yeah, so the name Arliss. Yeah,
I knew that was real. There. Wasn't sure about the Peach, but people don't believe. A lot of people don't believe my last name is Bash. They think I made it up, but it is.
Oh, okay. I thought your first name was Bash. It's your last name is Bash. Okay.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. Larry, are we hearing you now? No.
Still no.
Yeah, we're not getting the microphone to hear Larry. Let me check. Keep talking while I check why the mic won't work.
Now see his mic. I can see. Yeah, now it says that it's on, but we're not hearing anything.
You don't have it muted.
See this. We might have been able to take care of this before we started, if not for my gaffe. But
David Gaff.
David Gaff, no.
Well, should we
Settings
continue, or
on
should we do this at another time, maybe, or what?
No, we'll figure this out. And we do want to talk to you anyway. Oop, and there goes somebody's phone.
Larry Lee. Hello.
No.
Hey.
Yeah, this is live television, folks.
This is live Arliss talking to Larry.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, we got the video, but your mic, we couldn't hear the mic.
It's not every day you see a live telephone call between pen members.
Oh, okay.
It's very live, yes. It's material issues. We always have issues.
Keep trying, all right? Keep trying, because I think, are we live right now, I guess? Right?
Yeah, we're live. It doesn't matter. We have a good time. We'll talk with you, Arliss. If Larry keeps trying to figure the mic out, whenever we hear him, we'll go, hey, we hear you.
Yeah. Let's try to go back in, Larry. All right. He's going to keep trying.
All right.
Yeah,
we'll speak with you. So you grew up in a city in Iowa?
Yeah. As kids, yeah. Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Council Bluffs, Iowa, yeah.
Council Bluffs, yeah. It was a big deal, I guess, back in the 1800s or so, with the pioneers and that sort of thing. So it was there was a council and there was bluffs, so I called it Council Bluffs, I guess. But it was an Indian thing.
Hey, we got you.
Where you at? We hear you.
We got.
You just had to do the clapper.
Bye, boys.
Great,
You just had to do the clapper.
I'll just sit here and watch.
Okay.
We can hear you, Larry. Does he know we can hear him?
I guess.
And maybe he can't hear us now.
Now he can't hear us. We can hear him now. He can't hear us. It's not funny. I don't know.
Don't give up on us, people. Can you not hear us? Oh, he's going to write something down. Well, clearly he can't.
Oh, this is let's do everything by writing.
Yeah, here I got. Let me see. Where is it at? I got this. Let me see here. We
You'll
can
sit and
hear
watch?
you.
I'll just sit and watch.
Can you?
I don't know why we can hear him, but he
Can you
can't
hear us? Can you hear us? No.
Well, hold on.
Call him back and tell him we can hear him, but he can't hear us. So tell him to not say anything like his credit card numbers.
Exactly, right? Hang on.
That's good stuff.
This is technology for you.
Yeah, maybe he has to turn his volume up on his. Is he on an iPad or laptop or his phone? Maybe.
I think he's on his phone right now. Let me give him a yell.
It's all right. We'll figure it out. We don't have any time constraints. We'll do what we do.
Okay, well, good. Good deal. Yeah, let me give him a call real quick.
Sorry, people. Please bear with us. We'll get this going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all good.
All right. So, yeah, Council Bluffs, and then I moved into the city. We both lived out on the farm. Okay, I just called. He's on. So, listen, we can hear you. So you can talk. We can hear you. Apparently, you can't hear us. You can hear us? Okay, well, we can hear you, too. So get back on. Yeah, we're good. Well, you don't need to see me anyway. You've seen me enough. You've seen me enough.
Oh, so he can't see us?
So just get back on, because we can actually hear you.
Yeah.
There you go.
And now we can't hear you.
I got you. Can you hear us?
But now we can't hear him. Whatever he did.
Can you hear them? You can't hear them. Okay.
Keep
You can hear
trying,
me, but only because I'm on the phone. Well, hang on.
Yeah. Maybe if he hangs up his phone.
I think he's on his phone. Can you still hear me, Larry?
I can hear you.
Which phone? You want me to hang the phone up?
Yeah, maybe the fact that he's talking to you on the cell phone is keeping us from hearing him
Maybe.
on the.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you still hear me? See, I don't think that worked. I hung up the phone and.
Let's see when he comes back if we can hear him. I think it might have cut out the volume on our show in order to talk to you on the actual phone. So
Gotcha.
you know what I mean? It's not. It's this. We've had these issues before every once in a while, but it's all right. It's all good. We'll get around. I was just going to say you missed your calling. You should have just moved to Georgia and created a crossbreed of a peach and called it the Arlen.
I could have. No, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So when you and Larry met in school, was that in a music capacity at all, or you just became friends and found out that you were both music?
It was a complete accident. We, what had happened is I moved into the city from the farm, and a couple of years later, as we got older, they started busing the kids from the country into the city. So I moved in the city, a couple of years before Larry did. Or actually, no, he didn't move back. So I don't know, I was maybe in the 5th grade or so, and they started busing the kids from the country into my school. And it just so happened that Larry was one of them. So we actually met in gym class, which both of us hated gym. We hated gym, ferociously.
Didn't we all?
We were over kind of in the corner, and so we just started talking. Next thing we knew, we both were into the music thing, so that was it. That was the beginning of Peach and Lee right there. But obviously, we didn't know we had known each other from the past yet.
Oh, I see. And so you guys were musicians at this point?
We met again for the first time.
Larry, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
And we can hear you, so now we're good. All right.
Don't anybody touch anything.
Can't see you, but I can hear you.
All right. Well, Larry, you look fantastic. You're perfectly centered on the screen. I love the glasses, the whole look. Good to see you. Welcome to Material Issues.
All the stuff in the background's great.
We are loving this.
Where's
new album.
my flag?
Yeah, you need a flag. Well, we can hear you, so everything looks fine. So just hang with us and talk and have a good time. We're loving this whole reissue 65. Well, not really reissue, new album.
I always call these reissues, even if they're not, because it's music from the past. But here we go.
Yeah.
So when you guys re-met without knowing that you'd re-met, were you musicians at this point?
Yeah. Well, we were into music. I don't know if we would consider us musicians, but we were all of what, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, how old are you in the 5th grade? 10 or 12?
10, yeah.
Yeah.
10.
So it was kind of weird because I started out playing drums, and so when Larry and I first met, I still had a set of drums. I had learned how to play the guitar, but I wasn't very good at it yet. So when Larry and I first together, we started writing songs immediately because he had written some stuff and I had written some stuff. So it was just it was like a no-brainer. It just happened, and it was like once we met in that gym class, everything else went to hell.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's true. You could have met. You could have met over your love of dodgeball, but instead you met over your love of music.
I hate over gym.
So what year are we talking about right now?
Oh, wow. 5th grade? Geez. I don't know. Must have been early 60s, I guess, right?
So pre-Beatles, pre-Beach Boys?
61 probably, right?
62?
Yeah. Well, it's a little vague. I don't really know. If it was pre-Beatles, it was it was right off the money Beatles, right? So maybe, I don't know. People don't remember this, but everybody remembers Ed Sullivan thing with the Beatles, right? But nobody remembers Jack Parr. You remember Jack Parr?
Yeah.
I do.
The Beatles were on Jack Parr before Sullivan got a hold of them. So that was their actual. That was their. I think it was filmed.
That I did not know. So that's wow. Okay.
Yeah, they were on Jack Parr first, and Harrison actually made a trip to the U.S. to visit his sister
His
in
sister?
Illinois, so he had
Oh,
been to
right,
the U.S.
yeah.
before, and they weren't quite complete virgins to the U.S. when Ed Sullivan
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah. Well,
But
not George
interesting that-
Bush.
Yeah.
But
I guess when they were on Jack Parr, had people heard of them yet? Because no one
No.
talks.
no. Very few people caught that show because Jack Parr wasn't exactly, it wasn't exactly. Well, Jack Parr was the original Johnny Carson show, right? Before Johnny took over, it was a
Right.
Jack Parr Tonight Show. So it wasn't really a kids kind of show by any means. So it's kind of odd that they were even on there because that was a late night, like 10 o'clock show, right? Jack Parr show, I think was late night. So very few people saw that and probably don't even realize that that actually happened. I've not seen a video of that since then. So maybe it wasn't taped. I don't know.
Probably
I'm
lost.
guessing it's not around because people would be talking about it.
We'd find it, right? But
And
most people don't even know about the Jack Parr show.
Yeah.
Right. So
You
I
started
assume
off on drums, Arliss. You started off on drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Larry, what was your instrument of choice back when you were 10 or 12? Were you a guitar player? Or?
Yeah, guitar.
Yeah. So somebody had to have the rhythm side of things, and someone had the beat. So that's nice little melding there. So what was the genesis? Yeah.
It's kind of odd. Larry mentioned something earlier that was really kind of odd. We kind of had an odd story. This whole career thing of ours is odd. But he mentioned that I started out on bass, or I started out on drums. He started out on guitar. Yet that album that you just showed is all the guitar is me, and all the bass is Larry. So Larry, it's just kind of weird. But bass and guitar and turned up to be guitar and bass, or the drums. But except for one, and this is exclusive right here because the song "Not for Sale" that's on that album.
Yeah.
Actually, the lead in the middle of that song is actually Larry playing lead, which nobody knows. But the solo at the end is me, but the solo in the middle of the "Not for Sale" is actually Larry.
Wow, exclusive.
You heard it right here.
You heard it right here, first time.
Hang on. Didn't I play the beginning of "Picture Me in Paradise"?
Yes. Where your famous two string, you tune one string up to the next. Yeah. That was Larry too. That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I've got queued up here one of the first songs, one of the early tracks.
You're not gonna play that one. You're not gonna play one of those.
Well, we want to show exactly where you came from and where you went. Okay. So
don't you have a picture of
play a little bit of it? Yeah.
This one's called "Why Don't You Dance with Me," and it's one of the last tracks. It's one of the last tracks.
Just so you guys know, I'm gonna mute just so you guys know. I'm not gonna hear this, but go ahead.
You don't want me to play that one?
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
We'll see where you start because you guys are really young at this point, but you can see what's going on. You can hear the influences there, and this was the seed.
You can hear the youngness too.
You can hear the young. This is the seed from which everything germinated. So here we go.
All right, here we go.
4.
Just volume up.
Why won't you dance with me? Why won't you dance with me? I've been waiting all my life, girl. Why won't you dance with? Why won't you dance with?
Very Mersey.
Yeah. And of course the Everly Brothers.
Why won't you dance with me? Why won't you dance with me? Why won't you dance with me? Why won't you dance with?
Ooh, modulation. Really good, right?
Why won't you
Yeah.
dance with me? Why won't you dance with me? I've been waiting all my life, girl. Why won't you dance with? Why won't you dance with?
What
Why won't you dance with me?
other monster bass. Holy cow!
Yeah.
This must be where the solo goes.
Oh, you're gonna play the whole song?
Why won't you dance with me? Why won't you dance with me? Why won't you dance with? Why won't you dance with? Why won't you dance with? Why
like
won't
the
you dance with?
How old are you guys at this point?
How old?
Yeah.
No, 13 maybe.
So think about that. I mean, I'm a student.
13,
I'm a
14.
big student. I'm a big student of Mersey era stuff, and
Yeah.
there were bands coming out of a lot of different countries, like Sweden, for example, who were doing songs who were older than you guys by several years, and they were doing stuff that was really not much more advanced than that. So, considering that you guys were only 13 when you recorded that, that was an awesome beginning.
So were we 13? That was 64, 65.
Yeah, 13 or 14, something. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's crazy. And where did you record that? What was that recorded on? Because the sound qualities, I know the modern technology helps out a little bit, but it sounds fantastic for whatever you did it on.
Well, that's a strange one, because if you listen to that, you can hear the needle drop when you first start that song, right? You
Yeah.
can hear the needle drop because it was actually recorded to acetate.
oh,
Wow.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't
that's-
even tape.
okay.
Yeah, it was in a tiny little. It was a room about as big as a closet, and it was designed, I think, for you could go in there and like send your mother a message, right, or something like that, right? And then put it on. They'd cut it on a disc, and you could send it off. So Larry and I heard about this place. Said, "Well, will we fit in there? Will both of us fit in there?" So he and I, 2 guitars and 1 amp, went in that little tiny room around the microphone and did those 2 songs. I think it was, what was it, $30 an hour, $15 for 30 minutes, or
Yeah, I think we paid $15.
yeah.
Not
And
bad.
so
It wasn't really a studio, you know what I mean? It was
No.
just a place to record.
And so you dug this out whenever this project was getting underway and you had the original acetate. You still hung on to this thing all these years. And
That's Larry, yeah. Where'd he go?
oh,
We lost.
he had a hiccup.
Well,
He was about ready to make a great point.
Here's what I think actually happened. Larry found those what he had done is he had taken that acetate and he did a digital version of it, right? So he transferred it to cassette or something, probably way back in the day, right? And he found it in a box of stuff in his garage when Reminder first got a hold of us and was wanting to set this together. So he scrounged through his garage and found a whole box of tapes. And so happens that those 2 songs are in there. I thought they were lost forever, right? Because that was really a long time ago. Really.
Oh yeah. And why did Reminder get in touch with you? What prompted that whole thing? I mean, how did they know what was going on, or that you had anything in the vaults?
Go ahead, Larry.
Jeremy called me. A few people called us and started inquiring about Teaching Lee, saying, "Oh, there's kind of a buzz about you." And Jeremy actually reached out to me. I reached out to Arliss, and I just said, I liked it because he wanted to place the songs in films, and that's kind of what he does.
Yeah.
It's and he gets it out to collectors and stuff like that. So instead of us being in on another label getting fucked around, what are you, Superman?
Reminder. We're talking about Reminder, so
Yeah, remind me, why don't you? Jeremy was, he was a great guy, so we went with him.
But you say there was a buzz about you. How did that buzz come about?
well,
I don't know.
I'll tell you what happened is somebody bootlegged some Peach and Lee songs and put them on YouTube, calling them Lost. You can go on there now; they're probably still there. It was called like the Lost Peach and Lee tapes or something like that.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
And without any permission, mind you, right?
Right.
There are songs, and But anyway, so somebody put it on there on YouTube, and I think Jeremy heard them from there, right? I think
Wow.
he heard those lost tapes.
Yes, somebody brought it up to him. It was the lost treasures of Peach and Lee. I
Something
think.
like that. Yeah.
Wow.
That,
Yeah, and it had to make you just go, really? Are you what? Are you serious? Whenever he inquired, to be like, really?
Well, I think our reaction was like, why?
Why?
Yeah. Why exactly? Why would you want to do that?
But how cool is that, though? I mean, that's just it's awesome. It really is.
I think it's great that somebody wanted to archive our lives,
Yeah.
our musical
it
career.
really is.
That's pretty much what it is.
So
And that's
after
kind of
you
why we do
recorded
this
those-
show as well.
After you
The what?
recorded those songs, did you guys do live dates? Did you go out and play anywhere?
We were playing live throughout all of those recordings, I believe.
Yeah.
We
And
hated it.
Did you have ambitions to be signed by a major label to really, make this take off?
We were signed with a major label and got fucked around just like everybody else.
You know about the
Those
RCA
days.
single, right?
Yes.
The Peach and Lee RCA single. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can't get much bigger than RCA.
No.
It just didn't work. It didn't work out. So yeah, as we were going around, it's kind of strange getting a national contract at we were like 18 or 19 years old when that RCA thing happened. So we were released from that contract about a year after it started. So our whole thing was going into the studio. That was our holy grail. So while we were in and out of the studio, we were still trying to shop tapes. Of course, we were trying to get a record deal, but most of our focus was on the recording, right? We were trying to get in and out of studios as much as we could. We had all this material. We were crazy writers. I mean, we wrote like crazy. So, there's 27 songs on that. That was probably taken out of probably 50, right? That Reminder had available. And I was surprised some of those tapes are even, around, because I hadn't heard any of that stuff in years. I mean, literally 40 years or so. So thank God Larry found the tapes that he found. But we had some other friends from the past who also chimed in, had tapes and stuff of us that, we didn't know anything about. We've all lost contact with each other, at that time. But so the biggest point for us was to get in and out of the studio, because the record label would be secondary, right? If they could hear good stuff, then we'd get signed. So all we did was kept going into every studio we could get our hands in and recording more songs. So it just went. That's why it's like 10 years of recordings, because that was our main focus: get in the studio and get some stuff recorded. Right.
And what year is the RCA single?
1971, technically.
Well, that's when it came out. I think we did it in 19. Well, we got signed in
Probably
1969.
in 70. Probably in 69 or
so
70.
in 1970. And by the way, there's a thing also on the internet that says, featuring Hilly Michaels
Oh yeah.
playing drums. We didn't even know Hilly.
I actually know.
We
know Hilly.
Yeah.
Well,
we know him too.
Okay,
Yeah, funny.
So do we.
But he was
Hilly except for a year after we recorded that is when we met Hilly. And by the way, Dewey
And
Martin
who was
from
it?
Buffalo Springfield is the drummer on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dewey Martin.
Yeah.
Dewey Martin is the actual drummer on that song. Yeah. And on the
Nice.
flip side as well. Yeah, the other side of that was Dewey Martin too. And that would mean also that he's on So Badly,
Yeah.
because that was done in New York too. That So Badly track on the album was also done at RCA Studios.
Okay.
So that would probably been Dewey Martin on there too.
Now, one of the things that, as you well know, derailed the future of so many bands back then was Vietnam. Was that an issue for either of you?
I was too thin. I weighed 103 pounds, and I remember going and
Oh, wow.
had to do this thing, and the master sergeant went, well, let us take you out for lunch. Here, you want some bananas? And I went, no, fucking
We're going
way.
to fatten him up. Yeah.
And that's what it was.
No, it's
I don't know
interesting
about
that you
you,
mentioned
Harlan.
that because there's a book that I read called Whatever Happened to the Class of 65. And one of the chapters, of course, was Vietnam. And some of the people went and some didn't. And some vehemently did not want to go.
Absolutely.
And one of the guys talked about how the lower end of the weight limit was 108. And that he was like 110 a couple of days before he was supposed to go in for his interview, and he talked about what he did to lose 3 more pounds. He got to where he was cutting his fingernails down, anything he could take off, and he just made it under. But 103 would have been too light.
Yeah, we were too light. Well, I would have cut my hair, and it was pretty long if I had to.
Yeah.
How about you, Arliss? Was there any chance?
Actually, well, what kept me out was the fact that at the age of 18, when you had to sign up for the draft, I already had a child. So, and I was considered a sole survivor, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was an only child, and so then when I got married, had a baby, and that gave me a classification of 3A at the time, which was I could have went, but I would have been the very last to call, right? So, and they never called.
Yeah.
Maybe we did.
Fortunately for us,
Maybe you didn't answer the phone.
Fortunately for us, and I'm sure for you as well, you didn't have to go, and it enabled you to record what I think is the best song on this collection. So I'm going to play it right now, and you'll see. I'm not going to say which one it is, but you'll see which. This one, this starts the thing off like a bang.
You know that it's going to say a lot about
This is perfect.
There's your lead thing.
Whose guitar works best?
Hey, what?
Whose guitar works best? I think you do.
You got it, man.
Yeah.
You're out of the band.
I love the sound of that guitar.
Yeah.
That's your favorite, huh?
That's perfection to
You think,
me.
huh?
I mean, that is as good as it gets. Tell us
I
a little.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised by your choice. I really am.
Really? Ah, God, it's
And
It's
I like the
perfect
song a lot.
Beatles pop. I mean, it
Well,
sounds
yeah, it
perfect
definitely is pop, isn't it?
Beatles early Badfinger. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I got to say thank you for not saying raspberries.
We haven't
Well,
gotten that part yet. Yeah.
no, I haven't gotten to that
let's-
part yet.
let's
It's
go-
There is
coming.
one,
Okay.
there is
it's-
one
skip
song
that.
here that is very raspberries. In my
No, no. Must be Arliss' solo something. Like that.
Give it, what's the background of It's Up to You?
Well, there you have it.
It was always about a
It
girl,
was,
wasn't it?
it was boy meets girl, that sort of thing. That was all.
Yeah.
What year is that one?
Oh, wow.
You'd have to look at the record. I don't know.
I don't
Well, that's the
know.
problem. The record really doesn't tell you.
Yeah, it
You
does
know
on
why?
the,
Because we're old.
no,
we
it
can't
does.
remember.
oh, it does.
They had
tells it
they
on
had completely forgotten about that song.
It says it on the label of the
Ah.
album.
On the label.
Yeah.
While David's looking that up, I just want to keep everybody apprised that this is
Oh, my
available
God.
now.
Small print.
Pigeonlead.com.
Small print. I didn't even realize that's what was
Yeah.
going on here.
If everybody's loving what they're hearing, peachandlead.com. Buy it. Reminder Records.
Okay.
It'll
Thank
take you right to it. It's I placed my order yesterday, so I'm waiting on my copy. But peachandlead.com. That's where you got to get it.
Do you guys spin?
A few people had the question, and this question, maybe you know the answer. Is this going to be released on CD?
I don't know why I'm laughing, but
I
yeah,
don't
Well, because you don't know why we're laughing. That's why.
that's right.
No. Why are you laughing?
We've been trying to get this thing released on CD, and it's not really kind of coming through right now.
Well,
So
Cool.
eventually it will.
if the parties who matter don't mind, I would like to help out with that. I think I can.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay?
We know
Just not-
people.
We do know people.
Yeah,
I'll have to talk to Jeremy and everything, but we know people.
I have some mafia friends that know people too.
Well, I mean, there's the vinyl people, the vinyl community that's a target for. But if Reminder is not into doing the CD, and they don't mind because there are CD people that aren't going to buy the vinyl. They're not vinyl people.
Absolutely.
We know people that can help with the CD side of things.
Okay.
We're being very serious. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, be real serious about this. After we're done with this thing, give us a call.
Yep.
We will.
There you go. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. So
The truth is, we thought it was a go. We thought we were going to be able to come on here and say, yeah, CDs are coming, but that is not the case as of right now. So
It's right there's a comment just came in. I need the CD. Yeah.
there you go.
perfect.
There you go.
People seem to be under the impression. People, it does seem these days that the preference is vinyl, but there's still a lot of people out there who would rather have a CD. So
Well, I get it. There's vinyl snobs, right?
Yeah.
Vinyl snobs.
We're
Love
not
that.
them. We're not them. If cassettes were still out, I'd want them on cassette too.
right.
So no, we want the CDs out. We definitely do.
Yeah. Arliss,
We've
don't
been,
get me
uh,
started on
watching-
vinyl snobs. Believe me. I
Yeah.
could talk about that.
And in this day and age, it's relatively inexpensive to put 1,000 CDs out and sell. If you sell them all out right away, you put another 1,000 CDs. It's an inexpensive thing to do, but the thing is, it's getting it.
You can do 50 CDs if you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no, Arliss and I thought about putting CDs out, but I don't think we really want to be a record company at this point.
Well, that's
You know
just
what I mean?
it. If you find the right person, the right company to put it out, then they have the distribution, they have the built-in fan base, and that's what we're talking about. Somebody that would already have that built in. So it's a
Okay.
matter of just making it happen.
Obviously, you guys want want to be in the record business will call us.
Well, he is in the record. I'm in the music festival business. He's in the record business.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know,
I'll pre-order. See, there's somebody wants to pre-order already. Yeah.
see, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to
There you
happen.
go.
Yeah,
One
No,
way or
sure.
another, yeah.
During
If-
the
if,
70s,
you know,
where the
If
when
push
the
came to shove, Larry and I will
Right.
put a few out ourselves.
Right,
If push
right.
came to shove. You know, because
Right.
we've got lots of friends and family that, you know, most people I know don't even have a turntable.
Right.
wow.
You know what
Right.
I mean? Nowadays, and you don't have one in your car, so why somebody wouldn't want to put CDs out, I don't know. But
Well, here's the funny thing about that. A lot of the people I know don't have CD players anymore
Exactly.
well, that's
most,
true.
most of the
because
people
they
I
stream.
know,
Everyone's streaming things.
Yeah.
yeah, most of the people I know have turntables.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have it both ways. To have if you're a vinyl person, you have that big beautiful piece of vinyl with the gatefold. It's gorgeous to have that. But if you want the smaller physical package, the CD is great to have as well. So it's nice to have both of them. It really is. So,
Agree.
And you can have a CD in your car. You know,
you
that's,
can have a CD.
Oh,
and,
yeah, I
you
happen
can't
to have a
you
CD
can't have a
player.
record player in your car.
Well,
A lot
no,
of
they
people
had,
don't have.
you can have that in the early 60s in a Volkswagen.
yes, yeah, record player.
Muhammad Ali had a record player in his car. I've seen
Yeah.
photos.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty
And
rare.
apparently
But yeah.
They probably skipped quite a bit, but you know, what are you going just the idea of having it must have been amazing.
Yeah.
So during the 70s, are you guys, do you have a full band that's playing live or is it just you two?
No, we started off as Peach and Lee, and then we ended up doing a band, which Hilly Michaels was in, and Fred Bova, and we've had a couple other little people playing with us over the years, but no, so that's kind of it.
When, you know, back in the day, it was hard to put a band together, literally. I mean, you know, Larry and I met each other in school. I'm telling you right now, we were the only two people in that whole school that gave a shit about music, right?
Wow.
I'm serious. So, you know, it's hard to find when you're 13 years old, it's hard to find a drummer and a bass player and a this and a that, right?
Yeah.
So what happened is during the times when Larry and I didn't have a band, we would go as a duo and we'd play pizza parlors and wherever, right?
Sock
Churches.
hops, YMCA's.
Yeah. So whether we had a band or not, we were usually still playing, right? Even if it was just two acoustic guitars at a pizza place. That's what we did.
Yeah, but think of it this way: there's 2 young kids in Iowa with long hair. There was
Two.
no,
Only two.
There was
only
two.
2 that I know.
Only two. Yeah. Yeah.
But once you guys got older and were, you know, getting into the 70s, there must have been a lot of musicians at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, there were. There
Yeah.
were.
And we're, you know, here's the funny thing is that we only became Peach and Lee after the RCA single, right? RCA did that. We didn't, Peach and Lee weren't, we were a band. We always had band names. We were called Bandit, Rocket, the Lads. We've had dozens of names. RCA, when that single came about, they wanted to call us Peach and Lee. And we said, no, we're not a duo. We're not Simon and Garfunkel. You know, we're not Chad and Jeremy, Peter and Gordon. We're a band. So we vehemently were against it. Well, after we went home, after the sessions in New York, and they flew us back home to Omaha, we waited and waited, finally got a box of singles, and there, lo and behold, we opened up the box, and there it was, Hold On by Peach and Lee. We were freaking out because that wasn't our name. It was never going to be our name.
Weren't we the makers? I think we were the makers.
We were the
right?
makers at the time. We were the makers at the time with the RCA, which the name sucks. I get it, but you know, we didn't want to be Peach and Lee. We were just the writers of the band. You know, we wrote and we sang, but we weren't the whole band. So anyway, RCA saw it differently. Thought Peach and Lee was a clever name, I guess. So they put it on the single without permission. And after that single, we went on for another 10 years as all these other different acts, right? Different names. We were never called Peach and Lee until this album came out.
Okay.
And while you're playing, are you still playing a lot of your old Peach and Lee material, or were you doing all new stuff and forgetting about all the old stuff?
We
What do you
played
mean?
originals. We played our originals when we could, right?
Yeah.
In
Most
fact,
people
there's,
didn't hear it.
back in the when we were in the Midwest, I used to do this all the time. We'd be playing at some club, and we're obviously in the Midwest, so I would get on the mic and say, "Hey, this is a brand new song. It just hit the West Coast, and it's by B.J. Thomas and da da da." We'd say whatever, and then we'd do an original song. Tell them that this was big in L.A. It takes 6 months to get to the Midwest, right? There's a hit in LA. It takes 6 months to get to the Midwest. That was the truth of it. So we would tell them it was some brand new hit from California, and then we do an original. That way we could actually see if there was any response, because they would think it was somebody else.
Yeah.
But in those days, you could not do originals at a club. There was
Did you ever have?
Can't.
Yeah. Did you ever have the impetus to move to LA, move to New York, go someplace where?
Well, eventually we did move to LA.
Yeah.
Eventually
Yeah.
we did,
I am in LA.
Yeah.
Well, you're in LA, yeah.
Oh,
I
you're
left
here.
LA,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
I
never
was in
seen
LA
it,
for
Larry.
40 years. But yeah, the thing is, it was just odd that we've always considered ourselves Peach and Lee because that's what RCA dubbed us. So anytime you would hear a song, just like whoever put that stuff on the internet, it said Peach and Lee, right?
But here's a funny little thing. Arliss did the single for Titan, right? And in the inner grooves it says Peach and Lee forever.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
They weren't even together at that point.
If you can find that I Wanna Be single, I had scratched in the inner grooves, Peach and Lee forever. Just kind of a shout out to my partner that wasn't with us anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, but
I'm pretty sure I have that single, so now I'm gonna look. Big shout out to Tom Sorrells of Titan, by the way. Tom, if you're listening, it's been great to know you all these years, and thank you so much for all the wonderful music that you and Titan put out. Absolutely.
And also, by the way, if you do have that single, it's not on the A side, it's on the B side, because the B side is called No Way Baby. That's actually a Peach and Lee song, which is on the album now, right? Yep. Yeah, a different version of it, of course. Yeah, but and that was the reason that happened is Tom Sorrells loved that song, that No Way Baby song, so much that when I started doing the Titan thing, he basically forced me to do that song, and he just loved it so much. I had all new stuff I wanted to do. I didn't want to do old Peach and Lee songs, but he talked me into it. So that's why that's actually ended up being on the B side of that single, was because of Tom loved it so much. So that's why I had him scratch, Peach and Lee forever on the inner grooves of it. But yeah, that was Tom's doing.
That's nice. Let's hear another track. This one's called Ooh Baby, and it's from the album.
Tom Sorrells is a great guy.
Carry you away.
this again. You gotta have those hand claps.
Either that or a cowbell.
Or a cowbell. You know, I was just David. We talk about very Beatlesque and a lot of the different bands of the time period. Very Sleepy Hollow like too. Very Rich
You know
Ballet.
the band Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff. What a Tim's right. What a fantastic track. Man, this whole well, I'd call it reissue. It's not a reissue. This whole album is just pack loaded with really good tracks, and it's just it's amazing that it's taken till now to get
50 years.
Yeah, 50 years. I mean, unreal. That's got to be a little bit mind blowing to you that 50 years after all this, it's
Yeah.
you're holding the vinyl in your hands. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we're still writing. We're still
Yeah.
Don't stop.
recording.
Don't stop. I'm not putting you
Yeah,
out the
we
pasture,
can.
man. Keep it. Yeah.
Definitely don't stop. And if you want to play, if you guys are looking for a show, I've got my music festival happening all over the country. And actually, we're going to be in Liverpool at the Cavern Club for our 20th year coming up at the end of May.
That'd be
Hang
very
on.
cool.
Which thing are you doing? Are you doing the Beatles thing or the Turtles, Badfinger, Joy
No,
Mullen?
these are all original
Beatles?
bands from all over the world who play the festival.
Interesting.
We're only looking for original music. I mean, I don't mind if a band throws in a cover or two in their set, but it's got to be basically original stuff.
Well, if you go to Japan, we'll do it.
That may happen one day. Who knows?
Tokyo, it's coming.
You know, they love pop music in Japan.
They do indeed. Also
Yeah,
in
we're-
Barcelona.
Yeah, and also we're taller than most of them. So
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Congratulations on this release, though. This is fantastic. I just want to remind everybody, if you're loving what you're hearing, it's peachandlee.com is the website. It takes you to a link to Reminder Records. Order this Gatefold double album. Hold it up there, David. Show how beautiful this is, because it's got 27 tracks on it on two albums.
Are there any more pop looking guys? You wouldn't know it from looking at them now, but man, back then,
Yeah.
this is as pop as it gets. This, it kind of reminds me, of course, of the Dwight Twilley, Phil Seymour cover.
Yeah.
interesting.
You guys are even handsomer, though, I have to say.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. And we wish you the best with it. It's a great release, long overdue. And I know, all the fans on our site here, they're going to be ordering us up right away. So
Yeah,
we'll
it
put
does
this up
seem
like-
it is a bit surreal. It's a bit surreal. Yeah, after all these years, because when I first got the tracks, I hadn't a lot of the tracks I hadn't heard literally in 40 or 50 years, right? Most of them I hadn't heard because I lost all the copies I had. They were gone after 50 years of moving here and there. I didn't have anything of the old Pete and Lee stuff. So it was really nice when I finally got to hear it. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of strange,
Did it take you back? Did it take you back? Did it take you back to certain times and places?
Yeah.
Only I
Certain
think
studios.
it did only when we started talking to each other
Yeah.
is when we went back.
Yeah.
And that
I
really
asked him
happened
if he
because
remembered something. He'd say no, and he'd ask me if I remember something. I'd say no, I don't remember that. So the two of us together, we have one memory apparently.
that works.
Yeah.
So you guys started talking to each other again because of Jeremy and Reminder.
I guess so. I mean,
Pretty much,
it's not like we, had a fight. We didn't like disappear and like fuck you or whatever. It was just like we went and did our own things. Arliss did his things, his recordings. I did mine. He played, I played, and we just kind of lived life apart.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy kind of came into the picture. I hadn't talked to Arliss in I don't know how many years.
Quite a
Wow.
few. Quite a few.
Yeah. And so I called and I said, hey, couldn't really get a hold of Arliss. Had to go through his wife. She gave the phone number and everything for Arliss to call me, or certain time I was going to call.
Ex-wife. Yeah.
Yeah. And but then I talked to your present wife.
I'm a bit of a recluse. The truth is, I'm a bit of a recluse.
No.
And I tend to burn bridges after I cross them. So
no.
It was very strange when I got the word that, hey, they want to do a Peach and Lee album of all our old stuff. I'm like, really? Why?
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, you guys had a commonality back then, but it's not like you had a top 20 hit, which was keeping your name and your personalities and your friendship together. You just did something. It didn't work out. RCA didn't work out. You tried, you went your separate ways. You lived life. There wasn't that always hanging over you. Here's this one hit wonder type, whatever it may be. I mean, so it's amazing that something like this happened.
If it would have been a hit,
it would have been nice. But the fact that all these years later you're able to reconnect and over the music that you made, and now you're holding a wonderful physical product, saying, holy cow, this has come full circle, and it's got to feel really good. Yeah, it's just got to feel really good.
I think it does.
Yeah. Well, my original thought when I first, when they first approached me about it was, you know what? Yeah, it'd be nice if it was all archived in one place, right? Yeah. I know how many songs we've had and how many songs we've lost, but there's no place you can go to hear even 10 of them at once, right? Well, except for the internet thing. But so it was kind of nice. I thought, if nothing else, it's a nice archival project, right? Yes. Get all a bunch of Peach and Lee songs, as many we can scram on the 2 discs. And there's a few that didn't make it that Larry and I kind of wanted on there, but didn't make it for, sonic reasons, really. It wasn't because the songs weren't good. It was just basically because they were recorded poorly or whatever. And
bonus tracks on the CD. Bonus tracks.
Yeah, you know what?
Bonus. There you go.
I have to
nice.
I have to do a shout out to Jessica Thompson, who mastered this, because these were like cassettes. They were 2 tracks. They weren't burnt. They weren't anything. We didn't go in and re-record. We didn't add. We didn't do anything. It was handed off to her. She heard it and said, fuck, I love this stuff. I want to do it. And she did. And I got to tell you, she did such an unbelievable job. Yeah. I've done mastering with bands before, but what she did was outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really did.
Jessica Thompson, where's she out of, Larry?
She's out of, I think it's Washington.
Okay. Jessica Thompson.
Is she Jeremy's wife?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Great.
She's amazing. I think she's won a couple Grammys. I mean, she's really, really good. Yeah. Her name's Jessica Thompson. You should look her up. She's brilliant.
I'll tell you, if you want to hear the difference, go on YouTube and listen to those Peach and Lee songs on the, and you'll tell how much work she did, because they sound a lot better, 200% better than they did when she got hold of them. Yeah.
Well, when I heard that these were all basically demos, you know, and then you listen to how great they sound. I was like, how are these demos from the 60s? You know, how is this sounding so good? And she did a wonderful job.
And you got to keep it right, and you got to keep in mind too that back in the day, you know, nowadays you know $2,000 you can have a home studio, right? Mm-hmm. 24, 32 track, whatever you want. But back in the day when Larry and I were doing this early on, there was no such thing as a home studio, and it was really hard. There were fewer studios, and they were really, really expensive, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that, you know, we went that many places to record our stuff is kind of the whole story, because we'd get out of the studio and we'd like, where can we go now? Where can we go now? Right. And that was the whole thing. It was more about getting in the studio and getting our songs recorded than it was about really anything else. Really.
Yeah.
Well, we're really glad that you did, because for power pop fans, this is a holy grail thing, to be able to find these songs that we didn't know existed.
Yeah.
How did you get a hold of them? How did you find out about them?
I think I read a review somewhere. I'm trying to remember where, and naturally, I had to contact Jeremy and get a hold of a copy, because immediately I think I heard a couple of songs on Spotify or somewhere, and it was like, I need this.
And I'll tell you what, that's I mean, maybe you guys don't know David as well as a lot of the power pop community does, but for David to not be familiar with something, even remotely familiar, and how great, that's saying a lot, because he when he told me about it, he was like, wow, you wait till you hear this. And when I went out and heard it, it was like incredible. So to have David not know much about it and freak it out is very cool. He's loving it.
They were definitely demos. I mean, there was no doubt about that. And what I was going to say is, back in the day, not only was the studio expensive, but you didn't spend a lot of time in there on each song. You know what I mean? Yeah. Larry and I would go in there and 1-2 takes, and it's done in the can and out the door, right? Because that's how we were in there, being really pushed to get it done as quickly as possible, right? That's just the way it was back in the day. So the fact that when Larry and I wrote the liner notes for the inside of for the album, which I guess is kind of uncommon. So we wrote the liner notes, and what we realized is that we couldn't even remember really, what year, what studio, what state, or even what state we were in when we did some of these things. So reminders trying to say, well, I need a timeline, I need dates and all that. Like, good luck, because at the best we're going to be guessing, right? Really.
But we did figure it out.
Yeah. There's no sheets. There's nothing. There's no physical paper that says, well, it was recorded at this certain time or whatever. So it was rough trying to even figure out when they were. So it's a guesstimate at best.
But that's part of the beauty. That's part of the beauty of the whole project, though. It's just. I
think one of the things is that when we had to do a timeline on the thing, as much as Arliss and I talk now, it's like 2 hours at a span. We talked for like 2 hours. We kind of figured out where we were, what we were doing, and do you remember this? No, yeah. And then he would say something, and I would remember it. And that's kind of how we did it. But a lot of those early songs on this album was recorded in Arliss's living room. Like the song Down.
Yeah.
We wrote that song, and we invited a bunch of kids over, our friends, and had a party and had them just go crazy while we were singing and playing that stuff live. So somebody's phone.
It's RCA. They want to put out the CD.
Yeah,
RCA.
No, thanks. We're good. Thanks.
Michael Cooley wants to know if you ever played in Memphis in the 70s, huh?
Memphis.
I've played in Memphis, but not in this.
No.
There you go.
We did drive down to Houston to do 3 of those songs that are on the album, though.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah. But so, the fact that they're demos, when we were writing the liner notes, Larry and I kept referring to them as demos. And so Jeremy, he wasn't having that. He's like, these aren't demos, right? They're going to be on vinyl. They're not demos anymore. So Larry and I, we just wanted to make sure that whoever listened to these songs 50 years after the fact didn't think that, they were finished masters, right? Like,
because they're not.
They really weren't. They were demos. Some of them, as you know, there's no guitar breaks. There's, some of them are finished, but some of them are not. But they were all, Larry and I both considered all of them demos. None of them were really ready to be vinyl, right? But they are now.
Well, in fact, you wanted to title the album something with demos in the title, and
that was mine. I wanted to call it a decade of demos.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And Jeremy said, "Nope, they're not demos."
Yeah, exactly.
I think I just think Jeremy just didn't really want to be associated really with the the demo situation. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it. He's got a record company. He's got integrity, and I get it. But for Arliss and I, we're not like a band that's gonna fucking give in. Yeah. It's like it's either gonna be this way or piss off.
Right. Yeah.
I love it. Let's hear one more of those. Let's hear one more of those demos here.
Okay.
Let's hear, "When I Get Home" by Peach and Lee.
Doesn't it?
It's you too, Larry.
We broke up with a lot of girls back then, dude. I mean, just about every song is about, you bite me, I bite back.
It's funny, yeah.
When I get home,
putting all the titles together, it seems kind of weird.
So. That's what power pop has always been about. It's either about longing, about unrequited love. Sometimes it's about a love that somebody doing you wrong and a little bit of revenge. But
it's the blues, baby. It's the blues.
Love it.
Yeah. It's Peach and Lee, peachandlee.com to get your copy of the double vinyl gatefold album. It's a great album. It's a great double vinyl. It's wonderful. peachandlee.com. Who's drumming on that?
That would be Hilly, I think.
That'd be
Hilly drumming on that?
Yeah, the famous Hilly Michaels.
The drummer
Hilly again, and he actually played International Pop Overthrow, my festival in New York.
Yeah,
about 15 years ago.
Yeah,
so I got to meet him then, and
he's on probably a good maybe 15 songs or something like that on that.
Yeah. See who knew? I mean, just no one would have known this if this wasn't here right now, which is very cool. I love it.
True.
I love it. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful.
So you said you guys are still writing. Any chance for some new recordings, new album?
We're talking about it actually.
Oh, nice.
We're actually talking about
possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. Oh, we hope so.
It would be. It would be fun. I think. Yeah.
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 We still sound the same.
But you
And
don't
it's-
weigh you don't weigh 103 anymore.
Well,
Oh,
no.
there's no draft, so he's okay.
Last time I
Yeah,
weighed
okay.
103, I was 8. So what
No,
am I
I'm like 75 pounds overweight. They definitely go straight to me.
Well, I heard that ABBA, is doing this new tour thing, but it's going to be like AI. So they'll be on stage, but they're going to look like they did in the 70s, right?
Mhm.
So that's a pretty good idea. That's about the only way AI would work for me, I think. Yeah.
No, I would go out. I would go out and play with Darla if he wants to.
Yeah.
Couple acoustic
I hope it
guitars.
happens.
In
I really
Japan.
hope it happens.
In Japan.
In Japan.
They treat you
that
like
would-
royalty over there. Yeah.
I can do the Cavern Club. I can do that for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll tell you what, life is too short. Enjoy your time and the moments together. That's what I always say.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Get it done and enjoy it, and go out and do a couple of gigs based on this album. This would be great. I just wonder, really would.
I don't know about that, but Peach and Lee in the studio, that's a firm
That's a
possibility.
great idea too.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
It's a great idea too.
Guys,
I think
thank
we're
you
all
so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Really.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
This has been a lot of-
Peachandlee.com. Peachandlee.com. It's easy to remember. It's scrolling across the bottom. Go pick up. I think it's actually a pretty good price too. It's like $35 for a double gatefold vinyl album, which isn't bad these days.
No, it isn't.
27 songs. 4 of them you've heard right here on Material Issues. If you love it, go buy it.
And CDs will be coming. One way or another. One way or another.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Guys, have a wonderful evening and best of luck with the album. And it's been an absolute pleasure discovering it and talking with you tonight all about it. Thank you again.
Absolutely. David and
Thanks, guys.
Art, my pleasure.
There it is.
Thanks
Peach and
very
Lee.
much. We'll speak with you guys soon, I hope.
All right. Sounds good. Bye-bye.
Have a great night, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
I love it.
That was fun.
That was fun. Those guys are fantastic. The music is so good. I mean,
It really is.
it's just amazing that it hasn't, it's taken 50 years to discover this. And it's just it's that wonderful that it's out. It's out. And just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're very grateful that it is. Again, big thanks to Jeremy Thompson and Reminder Records for unleashing this stuff to we power pop nuts out there. And there are many of us, more than people think.
Yeah, very much so. Peachandlee.com. Go get your copy. You're gonna love it, guaranteed. It's a real nice project, and who knows? Fingers crossed. Maybe one of these days it'll be out on CD. And
I have a feeling it will.
yeah, there we go. Somebody with those real beards. Somebody said they're going to cave and buy the vinyl.
There you go.
Worth it to have. Yeah, very nice.
Is that Jordan Oakes?
It could be. Great stuff. But speaking of great stuff, we got a lot of great stuff coming up. I know
we do indeed. Next week it'll, unless something really unexpected and unusual comes along, it will be Mark and me talking about whatever we feel like talking about. Some new releases, things outside the music world, perhaps. Whatever, and there will be a Stump the Bash in the offing, and I always look for, even though I really got my ass kicked last time, I'm looking forward to coming back and avenging that loss.
We might just do the second half of those years, make it even tougher on you.
Number 66. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'm good with that. So that's next week, February 7th. On February 14th. We have one of the power pop icons. We all know and love this man, and he's still going strong, in fact, with a new album called Stand Back and Take a Look. It's going to be coming out the Friday after we do our appearance with him. Yes, Paul Collins, The Nerves, Paul Collins Beat, and now doing his solo stuff. Stand Back and Take a Look on Gem Records, coming out on Friday the 16th. But we will have them on Wednesday, Valentine's Day, the 14th.
Yep. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Paul
absolutely.
Collins. Yeah.
And February 21st, we have another icon, not somebody who's thought of as power pop, but certainly power pop fans love this band. They had a huge hit in 1975 in the US called Magic. And then in the UK, they had several other big hits, including January, the month that we're barely still in. But the main man of that band, the lead singer, songwriter, and all-around great guy, David Payton, will be on Material Issues on
Pilot.
I didn't say that. I'm
You
sorry.
didn't say that. You're letting everybody just hang on the edge of their seats. Who was the man?
No, I
Pilot.
think most people listening know once they heard the
Yeah, and now it's an Ozempic commercial. Have you heard that?
I'm sure David is not complaining about the royalty checks.
No.
Coming,
But David Payton, a Pilot, yeah, with their big hit Magic, and he was early Bay City Rollers too, right?
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, that whole Scottish connection. So yeah, 21st, David Payton. On February 28th, here's another song. No, we're not having. I sent him to the cornfield when he turned us down because, quote, our numbers weren't good enough. I sent him to the cornfield by unfriending him. That's how you can build a movie to the cornfield. You unfriend him on Facebook.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
That's
well,
funny.
Whatever. Anyway, how many of you listening remember Switch into Glide? This Beat Goes On. A huge hit in the early 80s.
Yep.
And huge hit in the early 80s by the Canadian band known as the Kings. And they, again, that's got to be Jordan.
Kings, yep.
Yeah, so the Kings are still going strong. They have a new album coming out, or actually has come out already.
Right. Yeah.
And I should have brought it with me, but it's still in the other room. I am sorry about that, but I'll have it with me next week. Anyway, so they're still going strong. The Kings, I've known those guys for a while. They've actually played IPO in several different cities.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do Switch into Glide, This Beat Goes On, they invite me to come up and sing with them, which is really
nice.
But we're going to have Dave Diamond and Mr. Zero from the two main men of the Kings will be our guests on Material Issues on February 28th.
Switch into Glide.
Yeah, hard to forget that one if you were watching American Bandstand or shows like that. And listening to the radio back then, it was all over the place, of course. Me and Zero request me and the Mercy. Yeah, they should be fun. Well, yeah. So after that, we're still wide open, but we've got irons in the fire, and we will certainly We've
got a few interesting things, including this interview tomorrow with NewJersey.com, New Jersey Arts, doing a thing with me tomorrow, and we'll follow up with David, and they're going to put a big article together on Material Issues, International Pop Overthrow. The record label Pop Detective has a presence back online again. So if you haven't picked up any of the 50 releases of Pop Detective, you can go out to popdetective.com and check that out. You know, it's all out there. But outside of that, materialissues.com. We'd love to have you subscribe over on YouTube as well and tell all your friends. That's the only way that you'll get alerts as who's coming up. We don't spam you. You know, early in the week we'll let you know who's coming up on Wednesday, and if you join us, we love it, and we appreciate everybody being here.
We probably should spam people, actually.
Start spamming. Let's just start spamming. You know, it's all good, but we're having a great time, and we appreciate everybody hanging out with us here, and we'll see you again next week.
Absolutely, everyone. Have a great rest of the week. Are those real backgrounds? They are real. We're not.
We are AI.
We've been AI the whole time, even before it was invented. Nobody knew.
I passed away long ago.
I was never even born. I've been AI for like the past 65 years. Anyway, everyone have a great rest of the week, a great weekend, and hopefully we see you next Wednesday with Mark and me having fun.
Indeed. Everybody have a great night. We will see you next week. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.